Fenton.
My first contribution to this bill, and I know that it's been the subject of many passionate contributions from members of the House who have animals in their lives, animals that are important in their lives, and I want to just start by acknowledging Simon Bridges for bringing the Members' Bill to the House, and then for once I'm going to congratulate the government for picking something up and doing it. And I do think I was a bit sorry, Mr. King, that you felt that you had to politicise this matter in your speech, really. I thought I was a bit sorry. You know, on a rare occasion when the House is in agreement, on a rare occasion when we actually agree on something and we all think that something needs to be done, I was very sorry to hear that. It was disappointing. Yeah, that's right. And I also, Mr. Chair, want to acknowledge the SPCA and the wonderful work that they do, and what an amazing organisation that they have. Now, we support this bill, but we do have some reservations about it, and the main reservation, I think, is that the issue of having harsher penalties, but not having the resources to enforce them. And we think that, while I know there's been some increase in the budget around animal welfare, and we welcome that, and I'm really pleased that the SPCA's got $1.2 million more from the budget this year, because I think, as I said, they do wonderful work. But unfortunately, we don't believe that's enough to really enforce this. Prosecutions for animal cruelty are very, very difficult to succeed. And I believe it's about 10 prosecutions, successful prosecutions, 0.4% of prosecutions that are taken that actually result in a conviction. In 2008, 14,011 complaints of animal abuse were received by the SPCA, and only 110 of those, Mr. Chair, resulted in charges being laid, and just 58 resulted in convictions. And the longest penalty we've ever seen on animal cruelty was 12 months, which was later reduced to 10 months. Now, I think the other thing that concerns me about this is the responsibility on the SPCA. They're a wonderful organisation, but they still have to rely on public appeals for cash every year to prosecute those who are clearly guilty of animal cruelty. Now, I understand in July last year the SPCA in Gisborne had to make a public appeal for cash in order to prosecute a case where 6 dogs had been starved to the point where they had to eat their own faeces, and sunlight could be seen through their hind legs. I mean, there's some horrific, yes, and, I know, Minister, it's difficult to listen to, but there are some horrific examples, and, we're well aware of the more recent ones, the more recent cases that have been highlighted in the media. That actually brought this bill, I think, brought the member Simon Bridges to the point of doing something, putting forward a member's bill, and I think stolen from it by his government. Awful stories. Now, if I may, Mr. Chair, I also just want to pay one other little tribute, and that's to my cat. And I know everybody's talked about their pets, so I thought I'd better talk about my cat. My cat Plum. Now, she's a genuine Service and Food Workers Union cat. She was found under the premises, under the floor, living under the floor of the Service and Food Workers Union building. But she got the name Plum because she used to hang out in the plum tree that was nearby. And she had clearly been not particularly well treated because she thought the plum tree was her place of safety. And it took her some time to calm down when we decided to take her home. But the one thing I do regret, and I don't think I love my cat. I don't know if it's classified as cruelty, but we did take her off to the vet and have her spayed, and only to find that she'd already been spayed earlier. So I've regretted that ever since. I really have regretted that. And she does pay us back. She makes us pay every day. And I also just want to acknowledge the member Sue Keasley and her comments about farm animals. These are difficult and hard issues for us to deal with. In my former job as a union official, one of the groups of members that I looked after were workers who worked in Tegel, and some pretty disgusting and horrible and horrendous things that you see happening in those factories. Not necessarily, I don't think it's defined as cruelty, but we know that they live in battery farms. I've seen the farms, I've been to the egg farms. They are pretty disgusting, and I would hope that we can have a dialogue about those things, an ongoing dialogue, once this bill is passed. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said, it's good that we have some agreement on this bill. As you note in the report back from the Select Committee, that some of us don't believe that increasing the length of sentences will by itself result in a decrease in cases of cruelty to animals.
I call Sandra Gardi.